Hello, everyone. You are watching the YouTube station identification of one of New Bedford, Massachusetts resident YouTubers, the dude with the Clooney do, Mr. Eric Lima over here. You are watching WEML 70, WEML TV, Channel 77, episode number 36. What's going on, everyone? It is January 23rd, 2021. 5:59 p.m. Saturday evening. What's going on, everybody? 6 o'clock. What is happening? What is going on? And I hope you guys are having just a wonderful, wonderful day or a blessed day. So thank you guys for tuning in on this 36th episode of WEML TV Channel 77. What is going on, everybody? Well, two huge NFL matches tomorrow. The conference championship games to decide the Super Bowl. The afternoon, it will be the Adam Cole Bowl because it's called Bay Bay because two teams that have the name Bay in it, Tampa Bay and Green Bay. I call it the Bay Bowl. I call it the Adam Cole Bowl or the Bay Bowl. Because Bay Bay. So Tampa Bay versus Green Bay for the NFC title, while Buffalo will take on KC. We kind of find out that Patrick Mahomes is cleared to play with the concussion protocol against Kansas City. So Kansas City's back as the favorites. We want to know how Patrick Mahomes is going to react. So the winners of those two teams will do battle against each other in the Super Bowl. Will Tom Brady overcome the favored Packers and Aaron Rodgers to defeat them to try to advance and try to go for his 7th Super Bowl trophy? Or will the Packers prove to be strong once again? And hopefully going back to their Super Bowl. We'll see what happens there. That's for my friend Kevin Henry's sake. And will the Bills go for their first Super Bowl since the 90s and try to actually win it? Or will the Chiefs continue their dominance in the AFC? That'll be a great matchup overall. If you're football fans, you're fans of these four teams, best of luck to these four teams. I'm a Patriots fan. I normally wouldn't care. And it doesn't bother me the Patriots are not in the playoffs this year. But, people still what irks me is people still harping on Patriots being cheaters. Come on. We're out of playoffs. Just relax. But you still want to harp on the Patriots being cheaters. Oh, good Lord. It's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing. But somebody finally wised up to the fact in an article that Tom Brady was never a cheater. Dude. The problem is the NFL front office and all those Patriot haters out there have flunked science, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all just move to New England, all right, and have your cars and play with your footballs outside and see how the difference is, how balls are out in the cold, And then you feel like, hey, it's warped. Yeah, and you go, oh, okay, so the Patriots were innocent, Unbelievable. People that don't like the Patriots, they're unbelievable. They're still crying. Patriots still cheat. We're 7-9. We didn't make the playoffs. How can we still cheat? Goofballs. Bunch of goofball sheep. Y'all stop smoking the weed. No more weed for anybody. That's why this country's in shambles right now, because everybody's too much smoking the marijuana weed. Why do you suppose I don't do drugs? Y'all, I got crazy. Y'all think you're on drugs, man. I am not on drugs. All right, I'm more woke than any of you clowns out there. Oh my gosh, that's why you get up. You get upset about us 80s and 90s kids. Oh, you're like Donald Trump. You're like this. Yeah. Listen, okay. Here's the funny part. People think, oh, I'm a Christian. Oh, you like Donald Trump. No, I don't. I mean, look at me. If a church opened, if a church, if people don't like a church because they all assume they're Donald Trump, the Trumpians and all that, we be having a freaking shrine with Trump with his ridiculous haircut and his ridiculous face. He looks like he had swallowed so much power, Sour Patch Kids, okay? And he talks like this. I mean, the guy is from New York. Me and I say more. I'm from Boston. Sports rivalries we're talking. He's a Yankee fan. I'm a Red Sox fan, dudes. Unbelievable. Guy was nothing but a businessman. A tycoon that has hotels across the nation. My goodness. You know, and then we if Trumpism was a cult, everybody would be like having this stupid wig haircut like he is, and they have to talk like this and act like they have Sour Patch Kids in their mouth, and all everybody. There's a lot of people out there that have a problem with us talking about the 80s and 90s. Oh, the 80s and 90s were gay. Yeah. Oh, shut up, people. All right, shut up. The 80s and 90s, yeah, there were parts of my 80s life that were not so cool. But we had some of the coolest stuff in the 80s. That's how the video game industry got restarted. Dude, we had some of the coolest stores and the coolest music. I mean, I love the 80s, man. The 80s ruled. All right? The 80s ruled the school, man. You know, I was a kid. I was a young rapscallion. I ran around, acted like a total stupid idiot, having a good time, even though my parents can get aggravated by it sometimes. I mean, good Lord. The 80s were my kind of year. All right, I grew up in that decade, man. I had a lot. I was a friend. I became the 80s were when I first started becoming a Red Sox fan, a baseball fan. When I was very active, playing baseball outside. I was, enjoying my childhood. My neighborhood was really cool. I had a lot of friends. We played hide and seek. We played baseball, basketball, sometimes football. We had some of the coolest things ever. I want to show you something, folks. All right. See this shirt? This shirt has the name of the store that I grew up shopping at one point. All right. When I was working at my mall, and I look at Macy's now, that used to be Zayre. All right. Zayre and Sears were the most iconic anchor stores of our mall back in the day. They made our mall successful. At one point across the street from our mall was freaking Kmart. All right, let's go back to Zayre, for instance. I want you to check out these 2 decks of playing cards that I have here. Hold up. All right, these 2 decks of playing cards. These were the playing cards I grew up having when I was a kid. These were the first 2 decks of playing cards I bought at Zayre. My father actually bought it for me, but when I saw this on eBay, I had to get it to complete my childhood. Luckily, I did. Childhood officially complete. All right. These were the first 2 decks of playing cards when I was a kid that I got. All right. These brought me back many, many memories. All right. I used to hold on. I used to carry these things with me wherever I go, just for the heck of it. Now I don't have to worry about it because now the memories remain in here in these cards. I mean, I look at these cards and I think to myself, "Dang, who would have thought?" Right? I honestly never thought I would see these again. I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of stuff in my past I never thought I would see again. When you see them on eBay or Amazon, I'm like, what? I mean, think about it, guys. I mean, think about it. I mean, you kids out there don't know what it's like to find something in your past from back in the day. You're like, I remember this show. Well, listen. I have transformed. I got most of the 80s cartoons on my, and 90s cartoons on DVD. I got some shows on DVD. I mean, think about it. I got. Oh, excuse me, just a second here. There's a lot of stuff here. I want to show you something here. I grew up. I grew up on the Three Stooges, man. I mean, a 4 DVDs collector's edition. I got a pin button of the Three Stooges. All right. I mean, this is surreal. This is surreal. A Three Stooges tin. All right. I grew up with the Three Stooges. All right. I grew up on a lot of these shows. I have the Three Stooges. I have Knight Rider. I have He-Man, She-Ra, Voltron, Kid Video. I just got. Heck, I just picked up Saved by the Bell, the entire series, and I got this, the A-Team. From the 80s on DVD. the cool thing about this is that a lot of the shows that are on DVD we grew up watching. I have the GoBots, I have Transformers, I got Power Rangers, I got Pac-Man, the cartoon, Captain N the Game Master, Super Mario 3. I got Batman, Welcome Back Kotter, The Monkees. All these awesome shows I grew up watching when I was a kid. And, like I said, there's some things in my life that were not as good, but having a lot of these shows and everything else keep my mind off of the drama that went on in my life, and just keep, sends me, it's almost something like sends me, like playing video games too, ColecoVision and everything else, sends me to another place where, that I wanted to be, Hey, I have to admit, nowadays I come on the internet, ever since I got a computer, I've been on the internet nonstop, The only time I shut it off is when I'm going somewhere or getting ready for bed, and, I don't go on the internet again until I come home from work, There's a lot of a lot of things have taken me away. But then again, you look at all the social media feeds, a lot of drama on there as well, political drama, people bullying dramas and everything else. It's like I'm like, ugh, can I just watch a video or something on YouTube, or play some video game just to keep my mind off all the worries of this world? Now, many people think that, oh, are you out of touch with reality? You must be out of touch with reality. No, I'm not. I'm well aware of what's going on in the world. But sometimes I choose to block that out and say, not be overwhelmed by it, overwhelmed by the stuff in the world. And, how do you overcome fear? You basically, I don't watch the news anymore. The only time I would, I don't even bother turning on the TV to watch the news. I can check the weather on this thing, and I can check all the sports scores on the internet. It's like, why bother going to the news and everything else in the world, right? I mean, we just lost a talk show legend. Larry King just passed away today. A home run legend, Hank Aaron, baseball legend, passed away yesterday. So, yeah, 2021 is off to a roaring start if y'all keep it scoring home. And, yeah, a lot of our childhood heroes are either died or incarcerated or basically been cancel cultured and everything else. And I think, the young kids of today need to learn and understand that they were part of our childhood at one time. They were part of our childhood. They were part of the success of the 80s and 90s. Now they're, most of them are gone. Like I said, most of them are dying, gone, or even in fact incarcerated, or just basically stepped out of the spotlight. Probably knowing what's going on in the world, they probably don't even want to deal with it. I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of things I don't even want to deal with. Like the winter here in New England. I mean, it hasn't not bad so far. Knock on wood. And there's days where I hate. The only season that I would hate about this job is the winter time, because you never know if snow comes around, and you may have to go outside and shovel. I mean, I don't have an issue with this, that staying late and then staying over late, and then you're getting overworked because it's like nonstop. It's like they want you to keep going and going and going, which makes no sense because while the snow keeps falling, and it's ridiculous. And I'll be honest with you, but I'm glad they put the kibosh on us staying over at the mall overnight, and they know we're not going to allow that anymore. So this is a good thing because it cost them money at the time. Now we obviously can't do it because with the pandemic going on, and they were my younger days, where I had a lot of stuff in my life, and it's crazy that it's crazy that a lot of our childhood is being stripped, because of everything that's been going on in this world. And sometimes, like I said, there are days where I just say, politicians don't care. They don't care about us. They just care about lining their own pockets with this, not giving to us, People need to realize, all politicians, they're no good. I don't care. People are like, oh, you're getting out of touch with reality. Woo, shut up. Think I am Bobby Boucher from the Waterboy? I think the only thing something's wrong with your medulla oblongata. Jeez. Nothing's wrong with my medulla oblongata. My medulla oblongata is okay. It's all y'all that's not. I get picked on. We go, oh, you suck. Your videos suck. So what? Shut up. It's not about the glitz and glamour for me. It's about communicating with the people. My innermost thoughts. All right? Y'all making fun of me about my past. Listen, I'm not perfect in my past. I was never perfect. And it's like, dudes, and you want to make jokes about my life? Oh, come on, seriously? Seriously, people, get a life. You know what I mean? You're boring. You're boring. You suck. Your videos suck. Listen, I don't care about your stinking opinions. Not anymore. Not anymore, man. I liked my life back in the 80s and 90s. The 90s were even more of a challenge because I was a teenager. When you grow up, you get new problems ahead of you, and I had a lot of problems, a lot of challenges ahead. It was a very, very difficult time. 1995 was the biggest year that basically changed everything for me. I mean, you kind of think about it. For the first 3 months of 1995, like I said, I lived in the west end of Bedford at the time. And then we moved here to the north end of Bedford. And it's unbelievable the way, like I said, a lot of things have changed. Friendships have changed at my church. And I got my first job back in 95, which I've worked at that mall for a total of 26 years. And this year will be 50 years the mall's been open since 1971. And if you think about it, it's crazy. This was one of the anchor stores growing up, and I was first introduced to the mall back in 1980, I believe, and I was first introduced to playing cards, and this is the first 2 decks of playing cards I found again. I think I did show you guys this earlier on, and I mean, unbelievable. Life has been crazy here, since then, since 1995. I mean, 4 years into the job, I got my license, which is unbelievable. 22 years since I drove. 22 years. And it'll be it would have been 22 years since I went to the Whaling City Festival solo. But with the pandemic, we didn't have a festival last year, and we didn't have a Portuguese feast last year. I don't know if we're going to have one this year. I really don't know. But I really don't know how the government's going to handle things, and we're trying to keep ourselves safe, and all these restrictions can really mentally get to a person. I mean, I've been hearing a lot about people being very angry about not be able to see their friends. Little kids growing up, I mean, their childhoods have been wrecked because of a virus. They probably made friends, and then all of a sudden, we can't see our friends, we can't say hi, we can't hug them, we can't kiss them, we can't say what's going on, what's happening, and listen, I'm not too crazy about this virus either, guys. I'm not too crazy about some of the restrictions that have been going on. I'm not too crazy about the rulings that our government has put down. And some rulings I'm not too crazy about. I don't mind the 10 to 5 curfew thing because it shouldn't affect me because we should all be sleeping around that time. But there's some people that work overtime. They work on those hours, That's got to be difficult for them not making any money. But, but a lot of people, I think one little girl, hearing the news or watching the radio, and she would scream, "Shut that off! I hate coronavirus." I mean, she was sick of coronavirus, hearing about coronavirus. Everybody's sick of it, not just that little girl. I mean, we're all sick of it. To be totally honest, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of wearing a mask everywhere I go now. And if I have to go into a store, I have to wear a mask, which is really difficult because I want people to see my smiling face instead of having to do it virtually, And I'm not going to say, well, I'm not going to start disobeying the rules now or anything like that. Listen, But we have to do whatever it takes to keep each other safe. But physically, it could work, but sometimes mentally, it's not. And there will come times this country is going to go off on its hinges from a mental standpoint. And what is President Biden going to do? Because a lot of blame is going to be put on the politicians. That's why I'm sick of the politicians. It's all their fault because because they want money for their own pockets. So in order for them not to lose money, well, let's keep everybody safe and let's keep everybody away from each other. Let's not let them have parties or something like that. And it's really sad and pathetic. And that's why I hate politics so much. Because politics can make a person corrupt is easy. You know. That's why I always loved the 80s and 90s. I didn't have to worry about a stinking thing back then. I usually look forward to going to my relative's house during the holiday season. I mean, my goodness, when I was a kid growing up, when my dad, and it was just me and my dad. My dad was still working at Sears all the time. When he was working at Sears Auto Center, and he was very, very popular guy there, and he was well respected there. A lot of people loved him. My dad had, a lot of people respected my father. And, they invited me and him over their houses. In fact, one of his coworkers, who lives like a block away from my, I think it was like a house or two away from my grandparents, I think, at one point. We visited them first, and I got my first transformer from one of my dad's coworkers. It was proud, and like I said, the memories that I had when I was a kid, some of them that were so great, and then was it 83, 84, when I came back to New Bedford from New Hampshire. I was big into Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a big thing back in the day. I had the Thriller. I think I still have the Thriller cassette album, not in the original. I had the clear version now, but I had the Thriller cassette album, and man, I used to wear that tape out. I played it time and time again. That's I played it. I brought that wherever I go with me. But there was a part of my childhood that really really traumatized me. Is every time my father had to go to work, I usually cry a lot when I was left at a babysitter's house, something like that. I usually cry because I get scared that I would lose my dad. To be honest with you, and losing my father was not the easiest thing. Losing a parent would not be the easiest thing for me at all. If I lost my biological mother in 2012 at the time. Though I was an adult enough and to understand what's been going on, and I do miss my biological mother. But when I was a kid, man, I usually cry a lot. I usually cry. Even at school, when I was in kindergarten, man, I didn't want to. I wanted to be home. I wanted to be with my father because I've been through so much. I did not want to go back to school. I did not. It was. I did not want to go to a babysitter's house. I wanted to stay home. And it was a very difficult, the 80s were a little bit of a difficult time for me. But despite that, I loved the 80s. I loved the shows I grew up watching. I loved the toys that I had back in the day. The games I played. The friends I had. Now, we know there's no such thing as real-life time machines. If they were, it would be the internet. That's my virtual time machine, the internet. And going to eBay or Amazon is like diving in that time machine and getting stuff from that year out. I felt like I went in that time machine. I felt like when I got these cards, it's like diving in to Zaire back in the day and grab these two decks of playing cards and then these two decks of playing cards and then grabbing money and then giving them money, via gift card. just was surreal. Then lately they've been this is a site called Pluto TV, and they started airing Price is Right Bob Barker era episodes from the 70s and 80s and 90s up until 2007, the year he retired. You know, all the game shows I watched growing up on YouTube, Internet Archives, Daily Motion, whatever, wherever they can maybe. If I see them, I'll watch them. I've downloaded a lot of those shows. That way I can watch them anytime I want. Nickelodeon's Finders Keepers. There were times, man. There were times. Where do I go from here? Who knows? Do I wish I went back in the time in the 80s and 90s to fix a lot of things? Yes. And just spend time there. I'd rather just go back in the 80s, destroy the time machine, and just relax there. To be honest with you, I don't want to come back here to the future. Are you kidding me? To the present? Look what it's done. I'll be honest with you. But I'm taking it one day at a time, taking things it is. I always pray to the Lord for His protection over me, especially around the winter time. Is it easy? Is it easy living in these times? No, it's not. But, there's an old saying, when life hands you lemons, you make lemonade, right? And I've been trying to do that. I'm trying to make a whole lot of lemonade. Wish I could sell it. But I love lemonade. Not too hot, not too sweet, just good. Police Academy. I think part 3, I believe. Or was it part 4? Citizens on Patrol. And the actress who played Hooks on that show, in that movie, Marion Ramsey, passed away as well. So she joined Hightower and Tackleberry. And Commandant Lassard. But bottom line is, folks, I love the 80s and 90s, man. A lot has gone down in between that, man. If I had built a time machine, I would go back, man. I would go back and just stay there. But sometimes things happen for a reason. Whether it be in the past and the present, or definitely in the future. To me, personally, I don't know what the future holds for me in my life. But I'll leave that up to the Lord. Instead of putting my trust in politicians, I got to put my trust in God. I got to put my trust in the Lord, and that's all I'm gonna do for the time being. I cannot base my life upon opinions of total strangers that don't know me from a hole in the wall. I cannot base my life on what people say about me or people say to me. I gotta feel what's in here, what's inside. Pray and use wisdom. People say the old saying is life is what you make of it. Life is what you make it. If your life sucks, that means you made it suck. Turn things around. I'm very thankful for good people in my life. Thankful for my parents, my siblings, the people in my church, and there's good people I'm surrounded by good people in my life. Give me encouraging words every single day. Am I going to get upset about a few things? Oh, sure. But take a deep breath and start over. I'm just blessed at what God has done for me. I'm just blessed. I'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day. Wonderful night, I should say. And I got to get off and get prepared to go on Zoom with my church family to talk about what's been going on and whatnot, and who to keep in prayer and whatnot. All right. God bless you guys. I'll see you on episode 37 of WEML-TV, channel 77. Blessings to you all. Peace, love, and best of luck to the Bucks and Packers, and to the Chiefs and Bills. Congratulations to all 4 teams. Best of luck. Have a good night, guys.